Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're here with the director of a wonderful documentary debuting here at Fantastic Fest Live in 2025, baby. It's called When We Were Live.
Love it.
And it's about Austin's city public television. Am I right there?
Public access television. You're absolutely right.
So, that's wild. The people that are on these things are wild. It's basically the Wild West that YouTube became before
100%.
Before we had the YouTubes. Am I right here?
Absolutely.
Why was this something you needed to tell?
Well, it really started with the footage. Like, I just got into an opportunity where I was going to make a documentary about one person, and then I went up to that person and they were kind of like, oh, by the way, if you like here's a bunch of footage, and if you like what I did, talk to this person, go to that person. They were like, oh yeah, if you like what I did, there's also a character named Carmen Banana you should talk to. And every person was just giving me tapes until I was just like storage unit. And every time I would pop a tape in, it was like the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
I love that. I was just going to say, where did it start? Who was the one subject that you were talking about?
So there was a subject, and they're in the film a couple of times, and it's this person named Old Biddy, and they actually, exactly, the person dressed up like an older lady. We're still really good friends. Eventually, there were certain characters who I was like, I want to keep you in here primarily as found footage, and then other ones I'd be like, I want you to be a narrator. But it really started with that person, who I'm still very close friends with, and just kind of ballooned from there.
It's funny, I'm not an Austinite, so I wasn't too familiar with their game out here, but it's very clear how progressive a city Austin is when you look at the social causes and the things like that they're talking about in these closed circuit, these public transit television shows in the mid-'80s and early '90s.
Oh, yeah.
How is that something that you wanted to portray on screen? Because as a Hispanic, from El Salvador, that's what this jersey is. As a Hispanic, that cause to me that is in the movie was very, very deep cutting for me. The culture being eliminated and erased.
Absolutely.
Why were those social programs and the AIDS epidemic and things like that, why were they important to highlight? Because the film comes off as like mini movies within a big movie.
I really appreciate you saying that. And also, that's really, really astute. My wife is from Chile, so I have like a live-in person that I talk to. But it's interesting because a big thing was today we're so oversaturated with media that it's more about like cancel culture after somebody has aired something, right? Back then, it was almost like pre-cancel culture in a way, in the sense that a lot of these marginalized communities couldn't make it onto the main news. They couldn't get onto the mainstream news. So they didn't really have a voice because it was so gate-kept.
Preventative justice rather than knee-jerk
100%
reactionary justice.
And so the whole thing is, these groups would do newsletters that they'd Xerox themselves. They'd have public meetings. But the idea of having a television station available to them was amazing. There's a Klan march in this. And the whole thing about that is that they even say in there, the news is always covering the Klan because they get ratings, but they're not covering the much more significant efforts by the community to shut them down.
Yeah.
And so it was really that right there, the idea of overcoming this communication barrier that everyone else in the country and the world was dealing with, was kind of the thing that I was like, oh my God. And then, of course, just the footage of that mural being destroyed. When I saw that I literally started crying the first time I saw it. It was so crazy.
There's just something about the eyes of that mural as it's being hit in the face, and you can feel a deep sense of sorrow within it. It's beautifully done. And I think you did a great job of putting that in the right places. Because like I said, it comes off as several mini movies. Here's a little bit about Carmen Banana and the gay movement and the AIDS epidemic. Here's a little bit about Gilberto and what he's dealing with being the only Hispanic person here.
Yeah, exactly.
And, Chicano and Latino culture in Austin, which is prevalent even now.
Yeah.
And more so now because of the people like him.
Oh, absolutely.
Or here's Livia talking about being a woman on closed circuit in the early days of it and not being, who she is, and how the Hollywood system sort of ate her up a little bit.
Absolutely.
So like I said, it comes off as a couple of little movies. Did you do that on purpose in the editing room, or was that just something that kind of just naturally flew?
It kind of naturally, in my co-producer who's off, actually there is no camera, so we're all off camera right now. Yeah. But my co-producer who's over there is also the person who helped me kind of write this. Yeah. And we both did the story together, and it started out really as more of a traditional talking heads movie,
Yeah.
where it really was streamlined with a few characters. But then after a while, it became, you know what would be really cool is let's just have these interstitial clips where we just have things that are kind of non sequiturs, but they're really funny and they just kind of cleanse your palate if we go from like a dramatic scene to a comedy scene. But the thing is, though, after a while, we started to kind of get more into that tone. And in doing that, it gave us the ability to address more characters than just 3 or 4, even if they're just in found footage. You know, like Dean Langston, the guy who Olivia calls into, who had that late night show, is a character that we knew we wanted in the film, even if for a little bit. So the aesthetic just kind of found us.
And you use him as a springboard to get to Olivia.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How that worked. And I think that takes a lot of work as a director to be
God, yeah.
This works here, this works here. That takes a lot of work.
Oh, thank you.
It comes off great. Actually, it was funny because like I feel like if I had been in Austinite, it probably would have hit me a little bit harder.
Oh, yeah.
But not being foreign to the city that I am, I was like, that's still really good.
Where are you from?
Originally Los Angeles.
Okay.
I live in Columbus. So
whenever I meet somebody not from Austin that says they like the movie, I'm like, oh, thank God. Because at first we were just showing it to people from Austin, but now that we've like met people who are from here, who
it's funny
really
because I live in Columbus, and I compare Columbus to Austin quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
it's this blue arts desert in the middle of a red restrictive bullshit state.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Austin is an oasis for the artist, for the weirdo, for the unique person. Same in the same way that Columbus is that. And the two things they have in common is this giant Big Ten school in the middle of the city.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
absolutely. Whether it's UT or the Ohio State in our case. And I think that's so interesting how much academia can change a geography of a city.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And your movie actually touches on it a little bit, not fully, but a little bit. The hospital for the AIDS crisis where they had to get tested was where?
Was it UT?
It's a UT hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you look at these kids now, part of Austin Film Society, a lot of them are coming from the School of Media.
Absolutely.
Which I didn't know existed until yesterday. I passed by it on Twitter. I was
hard to miss now.
That's cool. It's big, yeah.
Both my producer and I are graduates of, I went there for graduate school. She was an undergrad. We're both graduates of UT, yeah.
Speaking of school, and this is why I'm good at transitions, you said you were a professor before we started talking.
I'm a film professor at Austin Community College. That's my full thing. And the PBS station there, it's not public access, but the PBS station there is now on the campus. So I work with them, and I'm the main documentary professor there.
Right. So let me ask you, what's the first movie you make your students watch?
The first movie I make my students watch in my documentary course, there's a few of them.
Yeah.
One of them is actually, ironically enough, I've been showing them a movie called Life in a Day.
Okay, yeah.
The YouTube one, and it's just because I'm trying to kind of undo some of their things of what they think a documentary is. And I like this. I like how it's a lot of little mini movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's the thing about documentaries. They can be so many things. You know what I mean? You have something like your film, which is mini movies. You have something like Fire of Love, which is a great documentary.
Oh, God, I love that.
Which is one solid story told throughout. You know what I mean? Documentaries can be and are so many different things. They're such a malleable way to tell stories. And I think that's why it's important. So I'm glad to hear that you teach the good stuff.
Good stuff.
Anytime I have a guest in front of me for the first time, there's always 2 questions I ask them. You can go at any of my interviews. They're all the same.
Okay.
The first question is very simple. Who are some people that inspire you, whether that's personally or professionally?
Oh, well, I mean, Jim Jarmusch is a huge person I'm a fan of.
It's a good pick.
I absolutely love, I'm in Austin. I do love Richard Linklater. I mean, One Battle After Another is about to come out. Dude,
I'm hearing nothing but good things.
People are saying it's like the best movie they've ever seen. I love Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, the movie that really blew me away that, you know, everybody's seen at least 3 times is Sinners. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, the fact that he pulled that off, the fact he pulled that off with Ryan Coogler.
Well, here's the thing about Ryan.
David Lynch, I'll throw him in there, by the way.
Ryan Coogler does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a good director, is doing whatever the hell you want and not giving a crap.
Yeah.
Now, the second question is a little bit harder.
Okay.
But it's equally important. There's 2 movies you can watch for the rest of your life. What 2 and why? I'm so sorry.
No. Okay. I actually can answer this question.
Of course, everybody can. They don't want to.
Here's the thing. I worked in a video store, and they gave us a 2-sided name tag.
Okay.
And on each side, we had to list a movie that was our favorite movie.
Okay.
So I had this one preconditioned for me. My 2 favorite movies are Dead Man by Jim Jarmusch, and Waking Life by Richard
Linklater.
Those are 2 of my favorites. I'll just throw those out there.
Those are good. I mean, Waking Life is such a weird Linklater movie.
Yeah.
It's a weird choice. And then Dead Man might be the most like Jarmusch movie ever made.
It is. That's another thing. Yeah.
Like those are great picks. I honestly really love that. And so let me ask you, why should people check out When We Were Live?
I think for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think now more than ever, we really need to know the value of content, even if it was at like a local level where only a few people saw it, or if it's something that you're making. I think that having an unvarnished voice, I think, is very important. And it's obviously this need to do that. I'm showing that in the movie has done that. But also I do think that, there's, these things are just kind of treasures to show us that a lot of the same problems we have today have been around for a long time.
I'm so glad you pointed that out because I was just about to. Is that this movie really shines a light on the way that more things change, the more they stay the same.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If we had public access now and didn't have what we have, it would be the same exact issue.
Same exact thing.
They would just be a different set of problems. The gay community would no longer have the AIDS epidemic as much as they would have being able to have actual human rights.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Latinos would no longer be facing being able to be seen and their culture being erased. Instead of them now in the modern day, it would be them being physically erased.
Exactly. And so I think that that's kind of the thing is, the need for content, and also just some things kind of never change. Those issues are going to be secular.
Unfortunately, they do not. And that's to answer that question I asked you earlier. If I had the two-sided name tag, it would be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind on this side, and on the other side, it would be It Happened One Night.
Oh my dude! So It Happened One Night is what is probably my wife's favorite movie.
Your wife has taste.
Eternal Sunshine is one of my top 10 favorites.
It's one of the best films ever made, period.
It's one of the best films
and it Happened One Night there's no romantic comedy genre without it. So
Eternal Sunshine I can only watch once every 2 years because it
just breaks you.
It breaks me in two.
Yeah. It's so funny because I have a litmus test. If I'm taking a girl out or I'm dating a girl, I will make her watch the movie with me. And if she thinks it's a happy ending, it's probably going to work out for us.
Okay, yeah.
If she thinks it's a sad ending, it's probably not going to work out for us. That movie is such a gauge on whether you believe in love and that love is a real thing or not.
Absolutely, man.
I think that's so interesting. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, John.
No problem, brother.
Thank you so much, man. If you need anything else, let us know. We're happy to help you.
No problem. Give me a pat on the back after our reviews come out. That's what I'm saying.